It's not anything that's going to, quote unquote, get you business right away. But what it will do is going to ensure that you know the rules and regulations ahead of time, and that you close your loans on time. Now, remember back in 2007, we all do that. You got up every single morning and checked your website, your email, the news to see what wholesaler went bankrupt the night before. Hey, I was doing business with ABC. I mean, and that was like, okay, the next day everything was gone. You know, the same thing with, then you saw them falling by the wayside. When I started in this business, and I started April Fool's Day, 1972, and there must have been an omen there. I've been through 4 recessions, and actually this is the worst one. But I was down in Houston, Texas, during the oil crisis in the 80s. Saw the very same thing happening, and could foresee what's going to be happening. You know, actually what's happening in this industry. All the easy loans are gone. And as Frank and Brian said, the government is blaming us for absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. We're the fall guys. And so what happened? Rules, more rules than we can say grace over. It is, the pendulum has swung the other way. And back in 2008, I saw this coming and collected a team of experts that I've known for years and years and years to kind of look at the rules and see what was happening, and see what affected the loan origination business, what affected servicing, all those types of things. And we started a company called Mortgage Currency, which interprets the rules and regulations. In high school, college, you were given a book to read, 600-page book to read, and you had to have a book report in 2 weeks. What'd you guys do? That's bingo. That's what this is. Mortgage Currency is the Cliff Notes, and I'm not supposed to say this because Cliff Notes was going to sue me for saying this. Okay? So it's our secret. This is what we do. We take those 10, 15, 20-page rules and regulations, Fannie Mae rules and regulations, and interpret them for you, just for the loan origination staff, the processing staff, underwriting, and managers and company owners, because you've got to oversee and make sure everybody's doing their job as well. It covers Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, USDA, and compliance issues, and some of the federal issues that affect the mortgage industry. There are, over the last few years, starting in 2008, we're averaging 3 to 4 rule changes a week that only affect origination. I'm not talking about the servicing. I'm not talking about multifamily or anything like that. I'm talking about single-family origination. And I was talking to a couple of people, and I asked them how many hours a week do they spend reading rules and regulations. In fact, Keith showed me that he works for a major bank, and he just gets the notice that says, read Fannie, bulletin number Freddie bulletin number so-and-so. Here's this and this and this, and it's just rules that keep coming up every day on his computer. Do you think that you read rules and regulations? If you do, 1 to 2 hours a week. Your processors, your underwriters, 1 or 2 hours a week.
Yep.
You think that's fair?
Easy.
Okay. All right. Okay. If you're making $150 an hour, and you're reading, let's say 2 hours a week. Over 100 hours a week, it's $15,000 that you've lost reading rules and regulations.
Easy.
Easy.
And that's not counting the loans you lose from not knowing the regulation or a burnt relationship because you didn't have the regulations at your fingertips when you needed them the most.
Yeah, just talking about timing there.
Yeah.
And that'll buy you 3 assistants.
Yeah, easy. So you basically have 70 some hours that you don't have to read rules and regulations, because we've designed this so it takes just about a couple hours a month to read it. So I'm going to share a couple of tools. Have you all visited Mortgage Currency by any chance whatsoever? Okay, great. But let me tell you what's behind the scenes with Mortgage Currency. Rules issues. 10th of the month, there was one that was just released today, had 13 major changes in it. Only. Okay. Have you all heard of Fannie's new loan quality initiative?
Yeah.
Anybody? Okay.
They want to track out each LO and their portfolio? Is that what you're talking about?
I know.
Okay,
Okay.
that's another thing that's coming.
Yeah, something, yeah. Loan quality initiative is now you're going to be audited before the closing. So every broker, third-party origination, they have to have their own quality control that they're going to be submitting to their wholesale lender. And their wholesale lender has to have their own quality control that they have to submit to Fannie and Freddie. It starts July 1st. I mean, it's done, it's a done deal, okay? But what's happening and what's convoluted about this whole thing is that, imagine this, the underwriter is sitting there, you've got a bunch of conditions. It goes to the pre-auditing department. Now they have more conditions. Now have you told the borrower what the conditions are, and now there's new conditions, and does it go back to the underwriter again after those conditions are run? That's still out there. We're probably going to have a 200-page FAQ on that, okay? But the bottom line is that now you're going to be going through 2 underwriting processes, and it's not going to be on all of the loans. It'll be a certain sampling of a certain type of loans. However, there are a group of loans that they've required almost 100% audit. And that's going to be your 95s, your credit scores. And when we talk about, 680 credit score, if it's a 681, that's an automatic audit. All the minimum, right at the borderline credit scores, they're going to do a pre-audit on that. Investment properties, cash out, refinance, there's a whole list of things. And as we heard about it in February, we kind of wrote about it and said we heard this was coming, and they just issued the bulletin on it a few days ago.